I know I haven't like filmed anything all month, but it's time for my top 5 games of this month. So in the month of June, I played a lot of new games, which is really exciting. And these are the ones that have been the like standouts. I have 5 games and then 2 party game honorable mentions because I don't really like party games. So these 2 party games, which are actually by the same publisher, are Chef's Kiss, and we've played them both multiple times this month and had so much fun. So let's go ahead and start with those. So the first one here is Priorities. And this one is by Clarendon Games, which they also sent us this one. And I was a little bit skeptical because I just really don't like party games, but both of these were so fun. In this game, you have, I think it's 5 choices in front of you, and you have to rate them in priority order, and you write them down secretly, and then everybody else has to guess the order, and they like discuss amongst themselves. And then it's a cooperative game, so all of the order that you get right, you get to keep. The back of the letter has letters on it, and whoever spells priorities, you or the lost card, so like the AI, I guess, wins. So it's fun because it's cooperative, so you're trying to work together to get the answers right. But then sometimes you're like, what the heck? Like, I thought you would have put this with this, and people are thinking about things different ways. So on the back, like the examples are Hawaiian pizza, selfies, Alexa, long hugs, and people. So you put them in order, and people have to guess what your order is in your priorities. So very fun. I hope they come out with more card packs though, because we have played this so many times that I feel like we know a lot of the answers for each other already. The next game is also, again, another party game, and this is the Mole. And this one, again, we were like, I don't know, like we're not big party game people, but let's try it out. And this was so fun. It's another game that's kind of cooperative where you have a setting, and there's a bunch of different settings. There's like zombie apocalypse, there is the rapture, there was the circus, I think was one of them. There's a long list of them, and there's like a little tent, which let me show you the tent, that you put in the middle that has all of the different locations on it so everyone can see it. And then you get an envelope, the group gets an envelope, and inside of the envelope there is, this one's the rapture, there is different cards, and these ones have the location on it, and then you'll have a roll, and then one person will get a mole card, and they don't know what it is, so everyone has to ask questions, which I like about this game versus other, like, weeding out the, like, I guess the mole. Weeding out the mole, like, you don't have, like, you're all, like, asking random questions, but this one has question cards that you can ask. Some of them are a little silly, and I feel like don't really work for a lot of the locations, but you ask questions to a person, and that person asks another question to somebody else, and through that you figure out who is the mole, and either the mole can guess if they know the location first, or if you think that you know who the mole is, you can guess who the mole is first. So I think it's really fun. We ended up playing it like 5 times because you only have like 10 minutes to guess, or like most of the times we would guess earlier than that. A lot of the times we got it wrong, besides the one time when I was the mole and we had zombie apocalypse, and they were like, somebody asked me, oh, like what would you eat for breakfast? And I said eggs, and they were like, And then somebody asked me if it's easy to hide a dead body, and a lot of them I feel like the answer is no, and I said no, and they were like, it's you, Andrea. So I lost, but that's okay. It was fun. So those are my 2 honorable mentions, and then we're gonna go into my top 5, which the first one is kind of silly, and I kind of debated on switching this out for a dice throne, but I feel like I have not played much dice throne this month, surprisingly. But let's go ahead into my first pick, which this one is such an odd one. I saw this at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I love Disney, and I'm sure it's not going to be great, but let's go ahead and pick it up. So this is Mickey and Friends Food Fight, an all-out dash to toss those snacks. And y'all, this is the funniest game ever. This is a game of speed where everybody has their own tray, and then each tray you start with X amount of food, and there is hot dogs, hamburgers, ice cream bars, french fries. I think those are all of them. And you each have your own set of 3 dice that has left, right, center, any, and then also all of the different treats on one with a question mark, so you can put it anywhere. And basically you are, as fast as you can, rolling your dice and throwing the food, so throwing it onto the trays of other people. So let's say it was a french fry and then 2 to the left, I would have to send 2 to the left of the french fry, and then you just like speed whoever can do it the fastest and get their tray clear. There is also a tray in the middle that there is like a Mickey that you send all of that food that you rolled to the middle. which kind of weeds it out and makes the game like go. But it's just a super fast-paced dice game, and it's so fun because we get so into it and we all get like sweaty and like we're all like but it is a fun game. I think this would be really fun with kids, but also fun for adults obviously because we had a blast playing it. The next one here is Fun Fair. This is another one that I was like, I could have probably switched it out with the Dice Throne, but I really loved playing this game, and I thought for a quicker, not super hard game, this one was really fun, and I kind of want to play it over and over again. I know I really want to bring it to the table with Nick because I've only played it so far with Hannah, but this is about building a theme park, and you have different cards. You have your little entrance, and then you have cards where you can have attractions, food, and things like that, and then you put upgrades on those. You could only have 5 different attractions or like food or whatever. And then you could also have staff. There's also like goal cards. And I think it's light, but has like enough of a challenge to keep you interested and busy. And also I love the graphics on all of the cards and boxes. They are really, really gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite graphics that I have seen. They just are really well done, and the details on like the cards themselves are really wild, and I think that there is a little bit of something for everybody. You can kind of go for maybe just going like your aesthetic, or you can go more for like how can I just maximize these goals. But this is Fun Fair, and this is by Good Games Publishing. They also have Unfair, which I really want to get. It's like on the top of my wish list, so that's Fun Fair, and that is my number 4. My number 3 is my little Everdel, and I have had this on my wish list for months. Whenever Starling Games or Tabletop Tycoon offered to send this to us, I was like, oh my gosh, this has been on my wish list, and I was so excited because this is more geared towards kids, so it's ages 6 and up, 1 to 4 players, and it's a 30-minute game, and this is like a really nice bite-size Everdel, and this is my little Everdel, and this is like kid focused, but I really liked it. I kind of honestly liked it a little bit better than Everdel because it was a little bit simpler, but it still again had enough to keep me interested. It does go a little bit faster, I think, than the regular base Everdel, and it is an easier setup, and I think it would be really good for kids. I think 6 sounds about right. There is minimal reading involved. A lot of it is symbol based, but I do think like my 5-year-old, this might still be a little bit too complicated for him, but I guess it just depends on like how like into games your kids are. But this is just like Everdell. It's just like slimmed down, a little bit easier. I really like, there's like little spots where you roll dice, and those are then the resources for that round. It's 4 different rounds. You have the same kind of little market area that Everdell has. And then there is like some little goals, kind of like the goals that go around the tree. You have 4 different resources, well, 3 different resources, and then you have the victory points, and then the first player token, and the round tracker. And I just really love this, and I think it's super cute, and I personally like playing it, so it is my number 3. The next game, oh, it's so good, and Hannah does not like this game, so she just like doesn't want to play it with me, but I just want to play this game all the time, and it is Heat. And this is such a sought after hot game right now, and I am so happy to have it. It is a 1 to 6 player game, and everybody but Hannah really loves it. And basically it's like a deck building game and kind of like push your luck in a way. There's 4 different maps, which we've only played the 1, but I've been so obsessed. There's also like 3 different modules that we haven't played. And I just think like bang for your buck and replayability, this is like the game. It just feels like there's so much packed into one box. And the object of the game is you have your own little player board with the different decks, and you have what is in your hand, and you have to like shift your gears to pick how many cards that you're playing. And obviously there's more risky moves. You can spin out. There's corners that you can't cross with certain amounts of cards, numbers on your card. It's just so good. I think it's definitely, you know, deserves the hype, and I love Heat. I just think it's a very unique, and I think that the mechanics go really well with the theme. And if you don't have it and you get the opportunity to purchase it, you see it somewhere, definitely pick it up. I think it's really fun and something a little bit different, but just so good, and I cannot wait to play the other maps and the other modules. And then last but not least, y'all, these are all kind of a little unexpected, I feel like, from me, but this game, I don't even know how many times I've played this month. Let's look. I have played this 6 times, and I only started playing it like last week, and I am obsessed with this. This is not like, this is like an Andrea. where were you? Where have you been? That like this is not exciting for anyone because everybody else has already played this and loves this. It's by Stronghold Games and it is Terraforming Mars. And y'all, I love this game. I love this game so much. The box is so heavy because we do have some like upgraded components in here. But this game is life. I almost might like it better than Ark Nova, but that's because in the past 6 months, I have played Ark Nova. Well, I played it 29 times this month, and I've played Ark Nova 56 times so far. So I feel like maybe this is just like surpassing it because it's like new and fresh. And also I just like am imagining all the expansions and things, and that just gets me so excited. But I love this game. The one big downfall of this game is the player mats though. I think they are one of the worst components that I have come across because of if you like slightly touch that mat, all of your cubes are going everywhere, and unless you have a really good memory, you're gonna be annoyed. So this does give me Ark Nova vibes. Like if you like Ark Nova, I think that you're gonna like this because they share a lot of similar mechanics. There is kind of a co-op sense to it, or more so less solitaire than Ark Nova because you are kind of competing in the middle for your milestones in awards as well as the map and the different trackers. So there is that, but it does have a lot of Ark Nova kind of vibes because of the way that you have your hand as well as you're laying these cards that have different effects, and some of them you can use over and over again, and then some of them are instant effects, as well as having your own board and having kind of like almost a break system where in Ark Nova it's based on like how many times people break for cards or for sponsors, whereas this one is more so you can play as many times as you want, and then when everybody passes, they pass for the generation, you get your income, you get all of these different things. So I feel like they have similarities, but they are very, very different. And I have been obsessed with this game. And I'm just going to show you the upgraded components that I did purchase. So I did go ahead and buy from Etsy. They also have a regular shop too. The metal blocks. I feel like these are a must. These ones, like I said, I only played a couple times and they already have like a lot of chips on them. They aren't metal, they're like a plastic coated. And then also, like I said, the player boards are trash. So I bought these on Etsy, and these were definitely an investment, but I had already known that this is gonna be one of my favorite games of all time. So these are super nice, and they have the slots for the different trackers and like little dishes, because otherwise you're putting these little plastic lightweight tokens on a mat and it is a mess if you bump it slightly. So that is my favorite game for this month, and I just am obsessed with it. I just it gets me going. So if you've played any of the expansions or any other Terraforming Mars, I think isn't Ares like its own like game? Let me know which one I should pick up next, because I am definitely going to be on the hunt for more. But that is everything for my top 5 games this month. Let me know your top 5 in the comments down below, and I will talk to y'all in my next video.